All right, welcome back. Yes, just looking ahead of some forthcoming activities, examining where we are, what's going on presently. Well, this morning we've got Aide Gombe, who is a special advisor on information management and strategy to the governor of Gombe State. Good morning. Thank you for coming on today.
Good morning, Chamberlain.
Well, quite a lot in terms of expectations for the forthcoming government, and then examining where we are in the scheme of things. How many thought, well, mixed feelings in terms of how things could have turned out. For instance, I mean, this morning, several highlights as to crude. After all that has been done, after 17 months investigation, people don't know how much are we spending, who's stealing our crude, and these many things. Look, there's so many things just don't add up. But it is what it is at the moment, and it leaves so many mixed feelings again for this coming government. How will, because still cases going on in court. There's just so many moving pieces for all of this. And so for you, as a member of the party, how are you relating with all of this?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me, Chamberlain, and let me congratulate Channels TV for reaching the mark of 1 billion viewers on YouTube. That is exceptionally interesting and a product of hard work, professionalism, and indeed your ability to produce programs that really makes people want to always watch Channels TV. It shows that in spite of everything, private enterprise can really strive in this country. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Having said that, I'm worried, Chamberlain, because I do not know whether we have any law or any convention in this country that clearly defines what an outgoing government should do or should not do in its last days. Either a transition from one term to another or a transition from one government to another. If you notice, the last few days, we are still awarding contracts. We are still taking loans. We are still making appointments. We are still sacking people. We are still renaming institutions. I get worried because I thought transition should have a point where you close the books for somebody or someone to take over from where another person stops. But even now, we are still asking for approvals to pay judgment debts. We are still taking loans from outside. We are still appointing directors, and so on and so forth. And for me, I think we should get to a point where we draw a line. A new president was elected in February. We have February, we have March, April. In May, we are doing all those things. I do not think that is good for our country. I do not think that is good for the incoming government. And that is where, when the incoming government comes and does not tolerate those things that has been done and try to reverse them or to adjust them, then problem is going to start. And we are so lucky that this is even the same party. We are not going from party A to party B. It's the same party A that is coming. But all these things are happening. And I can tell you, some of those things are booby traps.
Booby traps for what? For the incoming government?
Traps. Yes, they are booby traps. Honestly, as far as I'm concerned, they are booby traps. Because there are certain things that are not sustainable, but we still do them. For instance, look at the aviation industry. Almost 30 directors were appointed. You renamed the ministry. You have Air Nigeria, whether they say the planes are coming. These are things that what you cannot do in 8 years, you cannot do it in 1 month. That is the truth. Let's face reality and tell ourselves the truth. Now, these directors, have they resumed? When are they going to resume? Supposing a new government comes and issue an executive order and said any other appointment contracts or whatever that had been done in the last 2-3 months stands suspended. We want to investigate. Then we turn ourselves into another pot of confusion and we start fighting and we start quarreling again.
You don't think that this should have been taken into cognizance by the transition committee? Isn't this part of what the transition committee does in terms of perhaps doing an overview of where the current government currently is, and then seeing how they can, you know, continue to take on matters which they'll hand over to the incoming government? Isn't that how it's supposed to work?
The transition committee is just to create a synergy. If I understand, that is the purpose of transition, going from one place to another. The transition committee is to aggregate the current situation and put it into a working document and hand over to the incoming government. They are not there to go and supervise or approve billions of loans or billions of projects or contracts. When transition committee was on, the Federal Executive Council is still awarding contracts.
Mm-hmm. You think there's a problem with that?
I have a problem with that,
so what I'm saying
like so many other Nigerians do.
Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, isn't it the job of the transition committee to take note of those contracts that are just being awarded and, you know, taking it on board in their own reports and seeing how it is that they can be transmitted seamlessly, perhaps with the justifications for them, seamlessly into the next government?
Yes, they can take note of those things that have been done, mm-hmm. so that to correct things if they are not done rightly. But what I'm saying, we don't need to overheat the job of the transition committee because it's a serious distraction. There are so many other things. We have more than 40 ministries or 30-something ministries, or there about 200 or 300 or 400 parastatals or MDAs that we need to look into. That is even a whole lot. The last transition committee we had in 2015, under late Aide, may his sorrows in peace. What happened to it? We have some of them like Rotimi Amechi, like Raji Fashola, who are part and parcel of that this transition committee, including Abubakar Malami. I cannot say, and I don't think anyone can convince me to say, what Amejoda committee prepared for the incoming government that any part of it has been taken into consideration. So these transitions we have been having committees is just a ceremony. It does not really give us the direction that we need as a country.
Isn't that then on the incoming administration? Because if you also remember, that was one of the areas where a number of people criticized the Buhari administration, the fact that it seemed to have wasted the first few months. The lethargy that greeted, he is coming into office. For a number of people, they thought he was going to come and hit the ground running. There was, the transition committee, which some people said did a pretty fine job, a thorough job from what we gather. We don't know how, I did not see the report, so I'm only saying from what we heard. But it would seem that those reports were left lying somewhere until the president could appoint ministers 6 months after. So, is that on the transition committee or on the incoming government or the government that took over after the transition committee had done its job?
Yes, unfortunately, we have set a bad precedence for ourselves. Like you said, I remember when that transition committee was on, I was invited by Abubakar Malami to come and make a presentation on sports industry. I came to the venue in Transcorp. I sat down as I'm looking at you before Rotimi Amechi, Hadiza Ala Usman, Abubakar Malami. And as soon as I sat down, few minutes, I saw Amechi making a call. Then later he said that Hadiza would talk to me. Then Hadiza said to me that, Shuaibu, that our secretary, who is aggregating all the reports, is going to talk to you, that you send your presentation to him. Guess what? Who is that secretary? Boss Mustafa. He called me, and I spoke to him. And I asked, I said, yes. A member of the committee, Hadiza Usman, asked me to speak to you, to make you give me a mail, I send my report. He said, we had already taken a report on sports. I said, from who? He said, do I know Bolaji Abdullahi? I said, yes, I know him. He said, they have taken a report from him, so they don't need another report. I said, but Abubakar Malemi invited me to come and make presentation on that. And I said, whatever problems you want to solve in sports, the same person you are saying now that you have taken the report was part of the problems that this committee is supposed to take note and hand it over to the incoming government to resolve. They collected the report. Till today, I have not seen anything to do with that report. And I do not think even Bolaji Abdullahi's report on sports was implemented. So also with so many others. I was coming out from that. I met Pat Utomi on the same floor, and we had a discussions. He said, what happened? And I explained to him. He said, well, that it was almost the same thing that he was told. But he is going to wait. He was asked to wait. So what I'm trying to say is that Transition Committee's report is supposed to be a working document. In fact, as an incoming person, that is the first document you have to look at, because it contains where you are coming, where the government is coming from, where the government is, and most probably where it's supposed to go, because that is what they are supposed to do. But we don't take note of that. And he comes with he may come with his own different agenda. And I can tell you now, with what is going on, Ashiwaju is going to come with entirely a different agenda, a different roadmap.
And some people will say there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, of course, a president is supposed to come with his own agenda. If he doesn't come with his own agenda, you know, he has no business being president. But he must also take note of what progress has been made, where the government currently is, and, you know, see how his agenda can now continue from. Isn't that what they're supposed to do?
Yes, when there are things that are not right, that is what I'm saying. You are living, you are taking loans. For goodness sake, what I could have wanted is to say the day a new president is elected, huh? Is elected, you don't award any contract that is more than 1 billion. You don't appoint.
It doesn't make it illegal, does it? Even if they do.
What?
It doesn't make it illegal, even if the government or the day does, because there's still, the time in office is still relevant.
Yes, we are trying to create that synergy and try to dispel all this public confidence, because it erodes public confidence. It erodes a lot of things. It erodes, you're increasing the deficit of trust between the governments and the governed. Because everybody will be talking billions. We're having billions every day approved for this and that when somebody is going. So, if we had done that last year, who cares?
When you say Ashiwaju will come with his own agenda, are you suggesting that some persons or many of them there are not exactly happy with the last days of this government in terms of what's happening now?
Well, most people will not be happy with last days when they have been there for 8 years.
I mean, the president-elect's team.
Yes.
Because you have raised concerns about some of these contracts and projects being done these last days.
Yes.
As he exits.
Yes.
So are you in touch with any of the president-elect's team? Are you suggesting that they will not be happy with this? They will stop some of these things and clearly just come up with their own, as you said.
I am not in touch with any of them, but what I'm saying is that I know Ashiwaju Bola Tinubu is an experienced person politically. So he knows what he is doing and he knows what he's going to do. Speaking
about experience, let's go down to Gombe State.
Yes.
Because over the week, some days ago, quite a number of changes. New leadership, Nigeria Governors Forum, Northern Governors Forum, Southern Governors Forum. I mean, Gombe State Governor happens to lead the Northern Governors Forum. And then some actions that he took himself in the states, the party, there were reports that it was set aside. How he, I think, was behind the suspension or expulsion of Senator Goje, Honorable Yunusa, who didn't return as a result of internal politicking. So something that the governor's actions didn't go well with the party, and the party thought, these are men who have experience. They could help your government achieve results. What could you say about all of that?
Well, first and foremost, let me start with the issue of the party and the expulsion of Senator Goje. Let me make it clear from what I know and from what really is on ground. No one has set aside anything. It was a fake news. The APC process is very clear to how to expel a member from his ward to local government to state, into zonal office, into national. All these processes had been carried out. The National Working Committee did not sit to approve or disapprove the expulsion of Senator Goje yet, but stories came out with some fake news that they have overturned the decisions of the district. They can't overturn the decisions of ward, local government, state, and zonal office. So let's get that very clear. Nothing has been overturned. It was fake news.
Are you saying that as things stand today, Senator Goje
he remains expelled because
from the party?
He has been incurably someone who has been committing all sorts of offenses against the party, insubordination, anti-party activities, and the rest of it. Can you imagine you are presidential candidate of your party is visiting your state, and you are a serving senator, one of the high-ranking senators in the National Assembly from Gombe State. You snubbed him. You refused to come and attend. The governor of Gombe State, Governor, forget that I am his advisor. As even an ordinary citizen of Gombe State has tolerated Senator Goje more than any other person could have done from his own activities. When he was governor, there are certain things you don't try it.
What do you mean?
You cannot do it.
What exactly happened?
When he was governor, we have a sitting senator who went to his constituency, want to construct a borehole. He was stopped from doing it. We have a sitting senator who wants to provide solar power to his constituency, to connect even his own constituency with new transformers. He was stopped from doing that. So these are just very few actions that are so mean for a governor. And during his time as minister, cannot go into Gombe and even blow off sarin. He stopped it. So apart from that, you look at programs of government and take those programs and sabotage them and come out openly to pitch the government against the citizens of the state. Who does that? I give you two examples, Chambari. Let me give you two examples. His Excellency, the Governor of Gombe State, provided keke and the tricycles to some citizens of Gombe State and said, okay, to engage them, to make them busy, to be returning part of the money every weekly and monthly. This same Senator Goje went and bought the same keke and and distributed it for free and said, after all, it's your money. How can somebody say you should be paying? That was the day these young people stopped making the contribution they were making. If you are to arrest them, how many are you going to arrest? We brought fertilizer. Lastly on this, we brought fertilizer to distribute to farmers at a subsidized rate. He went and brought fertilizer and said, it's for free. After all, it's your money. How can you be subsidized? During his time, what did he do? I can go on and on and on. So His Excellency has tolerated him more than enough.
So His Excellency, of course, supports this expulsion from the party, doesn't he?
Of course he has. He supported. He made it very clear, and because he has taken so much, his patience has been overstretched.
So Gombe lost the presidential election in Gombe State to another party, didn't it? Didn't that happen?
Yes.
So how was Senator Goje responsible for that?
That is not the issue. The presidential candidate himself lost his own state. So he lost Lagos. So it is not news because he lost Gombe.
But Gombe State had almost all the reps, 100% APC.
But we gave him the 25% that he requires.
House of Reps.
That is the most important thing.
House of Reps and the Senate was with Gombe State.
Yes.
Last time out. But this time, Senator Goje is the only standing senator in Gombe State. And even Honorable Unisa too. Was he guilty of the same offense?
He has that advantage. You know why? He has only 2 local governments. He has only 2 local governments. And if there is any restructuring we are talking about this country, I could have voted for restructuring to start from Gombe. Only 2 local governments. If you put me there, I can be senator for life.
So it doesn't matter to the APC in Gombe State if Senator Goje moves to another political party?
What?
It doesn't matter to Gombe State or to the governor if Senator Goje decides to move to another party?
Let him test his popularity. Why is he insisting in remaining in APC? If he thinks he's
that popular enough, he won. He's the only person in the National Assembly in Gombe State.
We have tolerated, he has been tolerated. We go to a point that he has to be disciplined because he cannot be above the party. Any member of the party should be disciplined, and that's what has been done. If he feels bad, he can leave the party to go and form another party. That's the only way he can show to the people that really he is popular. Let's move to another party
in Lagos.
Well, thank you, Chamberlain. Just to be clear, about a week ago, the APC released a statement, the national APC, saying that the expulsion of Senator Goje has been set aside. It remains a member of the APC. I just want to bounce that off you. I imagine you're aware of that, and the governor is aware. So doesn't that significantly change the situation around his expulsion, or purported expulsion, as the case may be?
He has been expelled. He has been expelled, and it remains so. All the constitutional process and procedure have been followed by the party, and he remains expelled. It's only for the national office to endorse it. And very unusual, it will be very unusual for the national office of the party to overturn the decision of a ward, local government, state, and zonal office. He remains expelled. So,
let me read this statement, a part of a statement from Mr. Felix Morka, that's the National Publicity Secretary of your party, saying that the attention of the national headquarters of the APC has been drawn to the report of the purported expulsion of Senator Goje. And it says the party has directed that the said expulsion and all related actions in the matter be and hereby set aside pending further review and decision of the party's NWC on the matter. He ends by saying, therefore, Senator Goje is and remains a bona fide member of the Gombe State chapter of our party. So are you saying you're going against?
Who signed? Is that a press release?
Yes,
who signed that release?
That's a press release by Barrister Felix Morka, the National Publicity Secretary of the APC.
If you check that release, it was not signed. If you check that release, it was not signed. The APC Publicity Secretary does not sign or issue statement that way. It's either through a press conference or through a signed release. If you check that release, if you have a copy, let's see if he really signed it. It was not signed.
This statement, I can tell you, is from the official channels through which the statements are sent. So I have it on good authority. But my question is, are you prepared to now go against the national leadership of your party on this? I know the national chairman has waded into this. He's trying to hold meetings with him. But are you going against the national leadership?
No. We are not against the national leadership. The national leadership has not taken any decision. And the story you are reading, that is why I said, who signed it? The publicity secretary of the party or the Department of Publicity of the party does not issue statements that way. If they issue statement, they will sign it, or it's through a press conference or an audio, somebody to get him on tape or on camera that he's making that statement. So anything can happen. But I can tell you from what I know that the national party office of the party did not issue any statement to describe the expulsion to be purported. It stands, it's legal, procedure has been followed, and he remained expelled.
Let me refer you to your official Twitter handle. That's official APCNG. I know you're very active on social media, and the statement is there 6 days ago. Expulsion of Senator Goje set aside, remains a bona fide member of APC. So, I mean, I have told you it's from the official channel. I'm even going a step further to show you that it is right there on the official Twitter handle of your party, official APCNG. And I know Chamberlain at the beginning of the program said, who needs an opposition when you can see infighting sometimes even within the ruling party? So again, that's another layer to show you that this is indeed official. And a lot of people wonder what's playing out within the APC then.
Those who are promoting or accepting any story that is seen or saying to overturn the decision of the party at the ward, local, state, and zonal level, they fail to inform the public whether or not these other layers have the right to take those actions that they have taken. And from what I said, or what I will continue to tell you, officially, the party did not take any decision on that, but they have been informed. And we have representatives from Gombe State at the National Working Committee, and they have made statements saying that as far as they are concerned, the NWC did not sit to decide or to describe the actions of the Gombe State APC as purported, or the expulsion of Senator Goje not to stand. As far as we are concerned in Gombe State, he remains expelled. Whether it's Twitter handle or any other online platform that is making that statement, I would like to advise you and any other person not to rely on those, to wait for official statements from the National Publicity Secretary of the party, signed by him, or through on camera, or through any audio medium, saying that the decisions taken by the APC in Gombe State at all levels was wrong and Senator Goje remains party. Remember, Senator Goje cannot be a party member in Abuja. If he wants to be a party member, he will go to his ward. That's where he collected his party registration. That's where he is in the register of members of the party at the ward level. As far as I am concerned, as far as we are concerned, that has been striking out. He's no longer there. Okay. So I don't know who is going to write that name again.
Well, incidentally, that statement that Aide just read to you said, signed Felix Morka, spokesman, National Publicity Secretary of your party. But another statement credited to him, which says, and I quote, "We note with deep concern the spate of disciplinary actions emanating from various state chapters, including suspension and expulsion of party members for alleged infractions in the wake of the just concluded national elections. This is a highly inauspicious time for these actions." Well, this one is quoting the timing of the action. Should it happen that, what Aide has pointed to you, as is also seen on the official website of your party, should it, as it is, should it be true? What would be the position of the stakeholders in Gombe State APC? What would be your position? Should it be that indeed the national body of your party, as you said, they have to ratify? From what you have said, that ratification has not come. Should that ratification not come, should they insist that, look, let's not suspend him yet, let's have some other conversation, or let's defer this until another time? What would be the position of Gombe State APC?
The delay in ratification by the national office of the party does not invalidate the procedure and the processes carried out by the various levels or tiers of the APC structure in Gombe State. No, it does not invalidate it. As far as we are concerned, it remains. On the issue of timing, the Constitution and the laws of the APC does not specify which time you should expel a member or which time you should not expel a member or which time you should discipline a member. As far as we are concerned, elections are over, and the time to deal with saboteurs and anti-party agents within the party has come. Well, and action has been taken clear, as far as we are concerned.
My apologies, Mr. Gombe. You know, that statement that came from your party's official Twitter handle is one of the ways in which governments at various levels have also, even the federal government, you know, the presidency, the president's handle often put out the statements. Your president-elect, who is soon to be sworn in as president, often put out notices of speeches, statements on his official Twitter handle, and many people, you know, go to town with it. So you're saying that this one, found on the website of your party, is not authentic?
It's not, as far as we are concerned. It's not. Wherever it's coming from, you need to verify. But as far as we are concerned, it is not the official position of the party until the NWC sits. The minutes, time, date, and where they met to overturn the decisions of Gombe APC is being made public, then we would know that, yes, it was the official position. You can take a preliminary action on your own, but that doesn't mean that taking that preliminary action invalidates a process that is constitutional.
Well, I've just confirmed again from Mr. Felix Morka, and he said that statement that was just shown now, he issued that statement. This statement is from him. He just confirmed it just again this morning.
But he
said, yes, that statement is from me. He issued it.
But it was not the usual way he used to issue statement. That's why we are saying it's not from him. Well, why didn't he come out openly and talk about it?
Did he refute it? Have you seen anywhere where he refuted that statement ever since it was issued? Ever since you said you saw it and thought it was fake?
Yes, because we said it's an unusual way that he issued his own statements.
I hear you, but have you read?
But nobody can impose.
I hear you, but I'm asking, did you read anywhere where he refuted that statement?
I have not seen that.
So how then did you come to the conclusion that because today I just confirmed again and again?
Yes, because we know there are procedures, and he cannot speak for the party of Gombe State. He can't speak for Gombe State. He can speak for national.
Okay, so your views
and when we are waiting, we have to wait until, even if he's the publicity secretary of the party, he has to wait until when the party meets.
But he's not speaking for himself. He's not speaking for himself. It must have been the decision.
No, decision where, by who? Decision where, by who? We have a representative in the National Working Committee who is from Gombe State that is representing us.
Now, not just about...
As far as we are concerned, he did not come back to us to say they had a meeting and they have ratified that they have condemned, or rather they have tried to overturn the decision of Gombe.
So just, are you aware that the Northeast Zonal Vice Chairman also held the press conference in Bauchi, setting aside that same expulsion? Did you hear about that?
We heard about it too.
Was it fake?
Well, since he's the National Vice Chairman for the zone, and he takes certain actions on his own, as far as we are concerned, we are waiting to see that the constitutional provision in APC is exhausted to the last. So anybody can, I'm talking here, anybody can get up and also talk. But what we are saying is
these are not just anybody. These are part organ of the party. These are key officials of the party.
But what happens to the constitution of the party? The constitution of the party has provided how you arrive at your decisions. So it's not an arbitrary thing that anybody can get up and go to the media and say what he wants to say. What we are saying, the constitution provides that the ward takes action, the local government takes action, the state takes action, the zonal takes action, then you come to the central.
So this looks like, though, the governor is bent on ensuring that this decision stands, because if key officials of the party are saying, no, this is not the case, but he seems to, no matter what happens, he will stick with this.
If anybody wants to upturn it, you should go and start upturning it from the ward level. That is what the law says.
But let me ask you quickly, because you say this is disciplinary action. Some people will say discipline is when the person is still within your party. You suspend, you... find other ways of discipline. When you expel the person... He was
invited, he refused to come.
How is that discipline?
A committee was set up. He was invited, he refused to come. And since if you don't refuse to come, then your head can be shaved in your absence. You are given a chance to come and pay the baba. You refuse to come, so the decision can be taken.
That still counts as discipline?
What? When you are invited to face
expelling a member?
Yes, it's part of it.
Isn't that
when there are sufficient evidence that you refuse to come, and that is another offense. That is serious insubordination.
Extreme offense.
Serious
extreme consequence for something that when you hear, oh, he didn't go.
When you have been having meetings with opposition candidates.
He didn't go for presidential rally. He didn't go.
Wait, Malpe. When you are having meetings with opposition candidates, when you are openly calling for your people of Gombe State to vote for another candidate of another party. So what is more extreme than this? When you are sabotaging every single program of the government?
You don't think that this needs to be elevated to the national level? For something as grievous a complaint as this, and the fact that he was
the national level are all aware. What I gave you an example. When they came to Gombe, what stopped? We have not seen him in any campaign throughout Gombe State.
What I'm saying is, this particular disciplinary measure, when you knew that it was going to result in an expulsion, you don't think that this is something that the National Working Committee, as you have said, should be the one perhaps to endorse the decision that you have taken?
Every organ of the party has a role to play in how to discipline a member who commits certain offenses. We have done our own. Let everybody do his own. But it is not something that someone will arbitrarily get up and issue a statement. So let the organ of the party come and sit down. We can challenge it. If the National Working Committee sits down and said the expulsion is not there, so it's left for us to go and review our actions. But as far as we are concerned now, no amount of Twitter handle can change what the constitutional rights of the ward and local government and the state have taken.
This is not a Twitter handle. This is official statement from your party. So what about Honorable Yunusa Ahmed, who himself too was a victim of the same kind of treatment from the governor? He's not returning to the house, and we understand that the governor replaced him with a secondary school dropout for a PhD. What's going on?
Where is the Constitution say a secondary school dropout cannot contest elections? Does the Constitution say secondary school dropout cannot contest elections? We have dropouts everywhere. Why is that one an issue? Why is that one an issue? Anybody can contest elections. If the governor does not replace him, the governor is not from Yamal to Deba. It's his own constituency. Whoever is asking the question should ask his own people. Why do you give us a secondary school dropout? It's not even, the person is not even a secondary school dropout, the person that you're talking about. He has been in the House of Reps too. He has been a chairman of a local government.
Did he win his election?
When? The last time or this time?
This time.
He did not win. So he did not win. The elections is about winning and losing.
So why?
Because this is just pedestrian issues you are talking about. It's school dropouts.
It's about representation for Gombe State. The quality representation. If Honorable Ahmed is there, he's representing the state properly.
When he was there, he did well. Even as when he was House of Reps, he was there before. He did well. And even as secondary school dropout, he did very well when he was there before. So it is not an issue that the governor replaced him with. His own people replaced him. Is the governor, he's not even from Yamal to Deba.
So did the governor replace him so that he would lose?
No. It's about elections. Anybody can lose, anybody can win.
All right.
There's nobody who is going to, as a governor, nobody is going to plan for his party to lose.
Well, thank you for coming on. Unfortunately, we're out of time. I'm Tribe Gombe, the Special Advisor on Information Management and Strategy to Gombe State Governor. Thank you for coming on, and all the best.
Thank you, Chambele.
We will be back in just a moment. Don't go away.